This video is instruction on completing the RP2 work for the research paper. There is not as much work involved in this step as there is in other steps. However, it is a little confusing because we are dealing now, instead of with just one Google Doc, we are dealing with two. So what we are doing here is we are coming up with a usable, workable list of sources, and we are constructing a perfect works cited page at the same time. So we're going to be going back and forth a little bit, and I hope that this video helps. So anyway, let's get started. You're going to start with on Fusion. You want to go to the Library Media Center, and that takes you here. If you scroll down to the bottom, you get to opposing viewpoints. You click on that, and that will then take you to this home page. Now, I'm going to model by doing a paper on hybrid and electric cars being good for the country. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set up my RP2. So I first of all go back to RP1, which means I have to go into Google Apps, open it up. I click on Edit. I click Select All. Now remember, you can't click on Copy and Paste. So to copy, you'll hold down Control C. And now I'm going to go to a blank RP2 document, and to copy that I hold down Control and tap the V key. So now I have RP1 pasted into RP2. And so what I am going to try to do is to come up with sources. Now your assignment is to come up with 8 sources that could be used on your paper. So let's see how we do. We are now at opposing viewpoints. I'm going to go into hybrid and electric cars. And so this comes up, and we notice that we have some viewpoints over here. One saying that they're good, one saying they should be subsidized, one saying they should not. Another one talking about economic viability. So let's open up the first one. Now remember, what you need to do is to look at these articles to see if they have reasonable information in them. So we're going to kind of scroll down here. So there's certainly some arguments here, and talking about tax credits, half-truths and lies. And so here, this is almost like a fact check. Here is what Washington Post has said, and here is the counter to it. So regardless of what side I end up on, I can use this. So this looks like a really good article to me. So I'm going to go up here, and the first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to email it to myself. So you can use your personal email. It might be better to use your Google Drive email though, so that's what I'm going to use here. So I'm going to type in MRFLORER at rrmiddleschool.org, and oh, okay, well, I guess I'm going to put that in as sender, and I'm going to put it in also as recipient, and that's done, and so I'm going to send that to me. So now I have a way to get back to this. And the first thing I'm going to want to do now is to start setting up my MLA. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my drive here. I'm going to click on the boxes. Now this is a real time saver, so do this right. I'm going to click on the boxes up here, And then I'm going to click on More, and you'll notice lower right hand corner you have this thing called Easy Bib. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to bring up my Easy Bib account here. And so I'm going to start a new project. I've been practicing below, so we'll start a new project, and that will be for this research paper. So click New Project, project name, you call it what you will. I'll call it RP example. Okay. I don't need anything else. Notice that we have MLA defaulted down there, and so then you click Create, and so now it is going to create that project. Okay, so here we go. Now I want to click on Bibliography, because that's going to be where we start, and so it brings up this page here. And notice that we're on a website, so it asks to enter its URL. Now most URLs are the things in this address bar up here. But if we go to opposing viewpoints, they put the complete URL way at the bottom. And so I would use this. So we again highlight it, you copy it by holding down Control, tapping C, go back to Easy Bib, hold down Control, tap V, and then click Cite It. And let's see what happens here. Okay, we're gathering information, continue to the final step. Click on that, and okay, it's asking for the article title. So I'm going to go back here and let's see what the title was. Government should subsidize electric cars. So I'm going to highlight that. Again, Control C. I'm going to go back to Easy Bib, Control V. Now it's asking for an author, so I'm going to go back here. Nick Chambers looks like the author here. So I'm going to highlight Nick Chambers, Control C. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to hold down Control V. So I want to take Chambers out, so highlight that, Control X, and then Control V. So we have Nick Chambers. Website title. Let's go back here and see what the website title is. Opposing viewpoints. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go here, I'm going to type in opposing viewpoints. And then the publisher is Gale, and I'll show you that next time we go there. Now they want a day when it was published, so I'm going to go back here, and it says 2015, so I'm going to type that in. Notice the publisher here is Gale, so we're going to type in 2015. Go here, 2015, and date access, that's today, the day you're looking at it. So you put that in there, and then you create your citation. Okay, so now, and then we go down here. No, we're not going to do that yet. So you have your citation here. I would highlight this now. And again, Control C for copy. Now I'm going to go to RP2. I'm going to hold down Control V, and so now I have this on what really is a source list. Now I also want to have the URL on here in case I want to get back to it quickly. So I'm going to go down to the bottom. Again, I'm going to highlight the URL, Control C. I'm going to go back to RP2, Control V, and so now I have the MLA there, and I have this here. Now look, we have a red thing here, viewpoints. So that's not very good. Let's go back to EasyBib and make sure we get this right. So let's change that O to a P. Apparently I must have misspelled that when I put it in. Well, it's not letting me do that. Is it going to let me do it here? No, it's not. So I may have to go back another screen here, and so I'm going to have to change it here. So we'll make that a view points, and we'll go back to create citation, and it's creating the citation. And so now look at what we have here. We have this one, that's good. We have this one that we want to delete more. So we hit delete over here and click yes. We want to delete that. So then that is gone, or should be. All right, so there we go. So we took that out. We have this one and everything is spelled correctly. So that's good. That looks like a good source. Now we're going to go back here to opposing viewpoints. I'm going to back up. I might find it useful, of course, to have the alternative approach too, so that I can read both. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go through the same process. I'm going to review this, and this talks about how it is going to change demand, and so that's bad, and how they don't sell well, and how the market ought to be decided. So there is some good things in here too. So let me email that to myself. So we'll put in and we'll type it in here too. I forgot the .org up here. So that looks good, and then I'm going to send it. So now I have a copy of it, and now we're going to go down here and do the URL. Now what I'm going to do this time to be more efficient is I'm first of all going to go to RP2. So I'm going to put some space in there, and I'm going to put the URL there. And now I'm going to go to EasyBib, and I'm going to put the URL there, and click Cite It, and continue to the final step. And we're probably going to have to go through pretty much the same stuff again. So it wants a title, so we're going to go back here, scroll to the top, copy and paste. We'll copy the title. And we have Mark Perry, or Mark J. Perry is the author, so maybe if we can remember that, we'll put that in. But let's type Control-C here, go here, type in Control-V, and it was Mark J. Perry, and the website title is Opposing Viewpoints. Let's make sure we spell it correctly this time. We do. And the publisher is Gale. Now the one thing we didn't have is a publication date, so we're going to go back there. 2015. We don't have anything with any more detail on it than that, so we use 2015, and we did get Mark J. Perry, so that's good. And we will go back to here, 2015, and then we're going to click Today, and then we're going to do Create Citation. Okay, and then that is created, so we will copy it, Control C. We go back to RP2. We're going to put that in above this, so we go Control V. And so now that one is done. And now we're going to go back and find another one. We'll go back to opposing view. Well, wait a minute. We won't use opposing viewpoints this time. Let's go just do a Google search. And I'm going to put in electric cars. And what comes up? So looks like some advertisements. So if you see this ad, it's an advertisement. Don't pay any attention to that. Electric cars, another idiotic mandate. I'm not sure about these sources, so I'm going to, oh, here we go. Car and Driver should be a pretty good source. So let's see what they say in Car and Drivers. I'm going to click on that, and it says hybrid electric cars, the best and the rest. So now this looks like it's simply a product comparison. So that's not something that's going to be of much interest to me. So I'm going to go back. And okay, now here's something from the New York Times. Let's see what that looks like. So early electric and hybrid vehicles. This is a list of documents about, again, I think we're looking at individual cars here, so I'm not really interested in that. So we'll back out of it. Okay, we're back in ads. I'm going to go to the next page. Consumer Reports, Electric Cars 101. So Consumer Reports is a pretty good source, typically. This is a guide to electric car questions. So what models are available? Why shouldn't I? So this talks about maybe some reasons you shouldn't own an electric car. Cost to buy talks about that. Cost to drive. It looks like there might be some things. How far can they go? Talking a little bit about how good these cars are. So I'm going to say that this is pretty good. This is a good article. So I'm going to now highlight up here the URL, Control C. I'm going to go to EasyBib. I'm going to put that in here, Control V, and then I'm going to cite it. And here's what we found. Here's what we'll need: publisher, electronically published, and authors. So we go to the final step. Who is the author here? And my hunch is that it's not going to have one, but let's see. Last updated then. Do we have anybody's name on this? I'm not seeing any names. I'll go right to the bottom because sometimes they might be filled in there. There are no names. So we'll go back up and look at this. It's Consumer Reports. The guy, okay, and so we'll go back to here. Author, there is none. Publisher sponsored, Consumer Reports. And electronically published, we don't know. We're getting it today. So we're going to create the citation. And there it is. Now, wait a minute. I did not put in on RP2 the URL, and I think I still have that in memory. Control V. Yeah, so there's the URL. Now I'm going to go back to EasyBib. I'm going to copy this, Control C. I'm going to go back to RP2. I'm going to Control V, paste it in there. So now I have 3. Your role is to find 8. So I'm going to leave you with this as a guide, and so by the time you finish, you will have articles emailed to yourself, you will have URLs that should give you a quick link, and and then we have to do the works cited page. So let's, well, first of all, I want to go back here because I don't think I emailed this. Okay, so to MRFLORER at RR Middle School .org, and okay, we'll just copy and paste that here. Control C, Control V, send. Okay, so that is done. Now we go back to EasyBib. So once you have them all done, then what you do is you click on, you select all, so they're all checked unless you have some there that you're already going to eliminate, but best, I think, to keep them there. So then we do export, save to Google Docs. Now you're already in your Google Docs, so this is going to redirect you to your Google Doc. And as soon as it stops, and I think we go back to the drive, and we will get that document. Okay. Oh, go to Google Docs, click on that. Okay, so here is in yours a perfect works cited page. Notice it's alphabetical orders. There's no additional spaces. Everything is perfect. But the title is awful. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go in, we're going to put in our block number. We're going to type in WC for works cited 1. And then our code number. Now every time you make a change on EasyBib, you want to recreate a works cited page. So then what you do is you'll get a whole new page. You'll call the next one WC2 until you're finally finished, and so you just keep adding, so you'll have a record of what you have looked up. So this is done. You're going to share it with me. And that is mrfloor at rrmiddleschool.org, send, and that's good. And now we're going to go back to RP2, and after you have your 8 sources, you're then going to go up to the top. You're going to share with me, loading, again, Mr. Floor, and send, and you are done. And that is RP2 and works cited. So there's really 2 that you're doing. We'll have a final submission of works cited just before the final submission of the paper. And that's that. Thank you. I hope this was helpful.